So when comparing these scores, you can see that extraversion works out to 20%, consciousness to 40%, openness to new experience is 98%, agreeableness is 70%, and neuroticism is 42%. So among the 5 categories or the factors of personality, openness to new experience plays a major area. So at least 98% fall into that category, and agreeableness is the next one following by 70%. So what sort of role or profession is best fit for Sheila? How would you expect Sheila to behave in a teamwork environment? Assuming Sheila holds a management position, what could be her major strength and weakness based on her Big 5 personality test score? It can be defined about the topic of concerns best by reviewing very briefly the kinds of issues upon which one has focused research over the last several years. Here the research means the research on organizational specialization and the professional management. In one way or another, it could be seen a person trying to understand what happens to an individual when he enters and accepts membership in an organization. The interest was originally kindled by studies of the civilian and military prisoners of the communists during the Korean War. It could be thought that the lessons parallels between the kind of indoctrination to which these prisoners were subjected and some of the indoctrination which goes on in American corporations when college and business school graduates first go to work for them. Research efforts came to be devoted to learning what sort of attitudes and values students had when they left school and what happened to these attitudes and values in the first few years of work. To this end, one can follow several panels of graduates into their early career. So organizational socialization is the process of learning the ropes, the process of being indoctrinated and trained, the process of being taught what is important in an organization or some subunit thereof. This process occurs in schools. It occurs again and perhaps most dramatically when the graduate enters an organization on his first job. It occurs again when he switches off within the organization from one department to another or from one rank level to the another. It covers all over again, and if one leaves an organization and enters another, it occurs again when he goes back to school and again when he returns to the organization after school. Indeed, the process is so ubiquitous and we go through it so often during our total career that it is all too easy to overlook it. Yet it is a process which can make or break a career and which can make or break organizational systems of manpower planning. The speed and effectiveness of socialization determine employee loyalty, commitment, productivity, and turnover. The basic stability and effectiveness of organizations thereof depends upon their ability to socialize new members. Against the tools you are using in deciding the best candidate for the post of events manager is the Big 5 personality trait test. Based on the personality test scores of Sheila and Dino, which of the two candidates would you decide? Just has to be answered. So depending on the attitude and the acceptance, which are the major factors based on which the scoring can be done, and whom to be selected, the nature of job and the situation that demands, that plays a vital role as far as selection is concerned. The 16 personality test of Myers-Briggs has ISTJ, ISFJ, INFJ, INTG, then ISTP, ISFP, INFP, INTP, then ESTP, ESFP, ENFP, ENTP, and finally ESTJ, ESFJ, ENFJ, and ENTJ. So all these things are part of the personality types that is framed by Myers-Briggs, and based on that it has to be accommodated. Attitude is an opinion or judgment held by an individual towards a person or object. So it is the characteristic or the behavior of one person followed by the attitude is opinion or judgment by an individual gets affected or held by an individual towards a person or object. So that is how the attitude plays a major role as far as a personality is concerned, and are the 16 type of indicators right from extraversion, sensing, thinking and judgment to that of ENTJ. So it all plays a vital role as far as Myers-Briggs title or theory on personality type. An individual's attitude is formed through direct and indirect experiences, imagination and personal beliefs. So perception describes how a person selects, organizes and interprets inputs from their senses to make meaning of the world around them. So perception, it's clear indication of describing how a person selects, organizes and interprets input from their senses to make meaning of the surrounding or the people around them. There are structuralistic as well as subjective concepts of social self-organization. The first is the self-reproduction of social structures. The second, aspects of participation, direct democracy, cooperation, respect, solidarity, responsibility and tolerance. Arguments in favor of a dialectical concept of social self-organization that both incorporate systematic and subjective aspects are put forward. Social systems theory is mainly focused on functionalist aspects of and stands in the tradition of Niklas Luhmann. This tradition lacks aspects of the role of human actors and cannot consistently explain the relationship of social structures and actors. The report shows that social systems theory should be grounded in conceiving the relationship of system and subject dialectically, as has been done in some works of modern sociology like the ones of Pierre Bourdieu and Anthony Giddens. Among the tools one is using in deciding the best candidate for the post of events manager is the Big 5 personality trait based on the personality test score of Silla and Bro. Which of the candidates would justify answer? So as discussed earlier, it depends upon the attitude and the willingness to own the responsibility and be participate in the meeting. All these factors are the key things that is required for getting selected as an employee. So how the individual process moves from stimuli to response. Increasing the actual variety of an assortment has been shown previously to increase the quantity consumed. We show, however, that consumption quantities are also influenced by combination 6 lab and field studies show that the structure of assortment, organization and symmetry or entropy moderates the effect of actual variety on perceived variety. We further show that it is perceived variety that in turn influences consumption quality. Making salient through consumption relations such as size of the assortment moderates this effect. These findings are of immediate relevance to consumers and health practitioners who wish to better control food. Individuals are susceptible to perceptual errors like stereotyping, selective distortion, selective attention, self-fulfilling prophecy, attribution bias and etc. So recently considerable attention has been paid to the deformation of responsible to environmental changes. The deformation has potential applications for muscle-like actuators such as that driven by electric stimuli, hence it can be controlled easily. However, for using polymer gates as electrically driven actuators, these are some disadvantages, that is slow response and high voltage that cause water electrolysis. Previous papers also said the T report that the low voltage does not cause water electrolysis between platinum electrodes on both.